So the Steam Deck has been released for more than a year, and in this year it has achieved a very important thing. Thanks to the Steam Deck, PC handheld gaming is more popular than ever, with more and more consoles being released every few months, and especially with the ROG Ally coming in just a few weeks, Windows seems to become more appealing to handheld gaming. So that's why today I want to talk about my experience using Windows on the Steam Deck, and I have been doing this for a couple of months now. Right, so we all know that Steam Deck comes with SteamOS, a Linux distribution which Valve have adopted for their console. In many cases, this is a big plus. It is designed for a better console experience, but at the same time it has a lot of limitations. We'll discuss about that in a minute. That's why today I want to talk about how I've been using Windows on this portable device, its ups and downs, and why I chose using it in this specific way. So by now there are several ways on how to use Windows on the Steam Deck. You can simply install it on the internal SSD altogether, removing SteamOS completely. You could choose installing it on an SD card, or with a bit of extra work, you can have dual boot for the two OSs. Or you can do what I did and install Windows on an external SSD. A simple external SSD will work, but I have been using this dock from JSOX, which also has an M2 SSD enclosure. By doing this, I can still use my Steam Deck as is when it's not docked, or I can simply select booting from an external SSD and have Windows on it. So I have had this setup for more than 5 months at this point, and I still use it almost daily. Right out of the bat, I'll tell you this. The experience is not the best, but in some scenarios I'm really enjoying this experience. Installing it is very simple. You can find multiple tutorials online on how to create a portable Windows, so I will not be covering this part in today's video. So for my setup, I'm using an LG ultrawide monitor, a Logitech MX Master Keys mini keyboard, and my usual mouse is the MX Master 3S from Logitech as well. In this video I will be using a generic HP mouse as it's currently being repaired, but I'll add some older footage with this combo. The reason why I use this mouse and keyboard is because of the possibility of connecting both of them to 3 different devices. And I'm using the same mouse and keyboard with my Mac Mini and also my work laptop. For the Steam Deck I prefer using the included dongle for a specific reason. I simply keep it inserted into the dock and I don't have to reconnect them when using desktop mode of the SteamOS. And you will see shortly that there is actually another reason for that. So once this setup is done, you pretty much see what you would expect. A full Windows experience which is powered by this small device. You can pretty much do everything you'd expect on it. Having only a Mac Mini at the moment, I do find myself from time to time requiring a Windows device for using specific software, and I got to say that I had no issues in this regard. Using the dock, I also have plenty of ports for extra peripherals, so it really is a full Windows experience. I even find myself powered it on for some casual browsing and content watching on YouTube or Netflix. So I'll make things clear. This is actually the main reason why I wanted Windows on it, just because I'm lacking a device in my house that has this OS. But most will want to try this for a specific reason, and that is gaming. Well, this is where things take a turn. At least for me, the gaming experience of using Windows from a portable SSD is not the best. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of games that I have been playing like this, but first of all, you have to know from the start that the performance is for sure not at the level of using SteamOS. First thing first, we do have one main advantage, the one that made so many hyped for the ROG Ally. By using Windows, you get full access to every gaming library like Rockstar, Epic, EA Play, and so many others. For some, there are workarounds and I can make this work on SteamOS as well. Heck, I'm having half of my current installed games from Epic using Heroi Launcher. I've made a video about it, so make sure to check that one out if you are interested in this topic. But on Windows, these launchers just work, or they should work. I have several games here and I'll show you footage of me playing some of them. I have Red Dead Redemption from Rockstar, GTA 5 from Epic, Spider-Man from Steam, and they all work. Some are better than others, but do expect lower FPS playing this way. Is it functional? Sure, but if I had to choose, I would go with SteamOS for every game mentioned here. And remember, even SteamOS can work with a monitor and mouse and keyboard. Or you can also use a wireless controller. I do have my Stadia one over here, and I have to say I love this controller for the Steam Deck. My plan was to use Windows for first-person shooters, as I still can't find myself using a controller for this type of games, and I have played quite a bit of Cyberpunk on it, with all its limitations. And then there is even more important topic to mention. I think the most asked question on my Heroic Launcher video was about Fortnite. And as you may know, due to the anti-cheat software on SteamOS, these kind of games will not work. But in theory, on Windows this will be okay. and here you see me booting up Fortnite and the game opens with no issue. But starting the new game, then the problem starts. We see huge frame drops or even freezes, and I do find this strange. More demanding games like the Red Dead Redemption had no problems in these regards, but here is Fortnite, which is not playable at all. I have put here on the screen the disk usage, and as you can see, the problem is that while playing this game, we have 100% most of the time. Apparently this could be an issue while using Windows on an external SSD, and I have seen others playing this game with no problem while using Windows locally. So this could be something with my setup. I have tried Fall Guys as well, and as you can see I had the same issue and even got disconnected from the game. Disk usage is sitting at 100% almost constantly, but I still find it pretty strange that more demanding games don't have this issue. It could be related to online gaming as well. Now another important aspect with this setup is related to Bluetooth. For some reason recently I found this issue to be more common. As you can see with Red Dead Redemption, whenever I open the game, my keyboard is not recognized anymore. I have to repair it again, but every time I open the game, I have this issue. If I'm using an external dongle for the keyboard, then the issue seems to go away, so it really looks like Bluetooth is to blame on this one. For this video, I did have to switch keyboards in order to make it work, so that's why you see different ones throughout this video. So my opinion on using Windows in this current setup is as follows. If you want to use this for some regular browsing, content watching, or even some casual gaming, then I can definitely recommend it, even with its limitations. There are better ways on using Windows, and if you depend too much on this OS, then you could always replace the SteamOS that comes built in. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I did decide to make this one especially with the ROG Ally coming out soon. This device seems more appealing to most just because of Windows, and in this way we won't have these limitations anymore. But I do consider that SteamOS is great from different points of view. The experience is so much smoother than on Windows, the UI is so much cleaner, so both OSs have their advantages. I did pre-order the ROG Ally, so I will go in more depth once I have it, so make sure to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out. What do you think about this experience? Is this something you see yourself using? Or are you already using Windows on the Steam Deck but in a different form? Let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear your experience. So that's it for this video, hope you enjoyed watching it. This is the Tech Apple, and I'll catch you in the next video.